There's a competitive side of 2K that's been fighting a war you had no idea was happening. And that war is trying to find a way to get 5+3 cap breakers on your ball handle in speed with ball on a 6'6" build. Now you're probably thinking one of two things. One, why would you even want to do this? Well, as you can imagine, going from a 60 ball handle in 60 speed with ball to maxed out in both stats without spending a single attribute saves you a ton of attribute points that can be used in other places to make the most overpowered build possible. And the other thing you're probably thinking is, bro, that's easy. I did it on my 6'8" build without even stressing it. But the problem is, for the first month of the game, it was literally impossible to do this trick on a 6'6" build. I'm serious, if you're not a nerd, you had no idea this was a thing, but getting more than +1 cap breakers on your ball handle in speed with ball was thought to be impossible. That is until now, because we found two very specific variations of a 6'6" build that allows you to do this. And one of them is objectively the best 6'6" build you could ever make in NBA 2K26. I'm about to show y'all this insane build, but first, shout out to Bino BTM for winning my last VC giveaway. If y'all want $50 worth of free VC, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe with notifications on, and comment what 2K YouTuber you want to see in my group video this Wednesday. If I heart your comment, that means that they're gonna be in there, and you should probably check it out. I'll be choosing the winner of this giveaway in my Halloween video on Friday, so make sure anytime you see a noti from me, you click it super fast. Alright y'all, now for the build. For this specific build, I need to show y'all what it looked like after cap breakers first before we go into the builder. On this one build, you get a 96 mid-range rating, which of course gives you all legend shooting badges with your max +1s. You get a 93 point rating, which gives you access to deep range bomber takeover, the best takeover in the game right now. You get an 85 ball handle and 86 speed with ball, aka the exact ratings you need to get all the best dribble moves for tall guards in the game. A 92 perimeter defense, which gives you access to getting legend challenger with a max +2, which if 2K ever decides to buff their defense will matter. An 85 steal, which not only allows you to get insane passing lane steals, but again gives you access to the option of going legend interceptor with a max +2, gets a 68 block and 60 interior defense, which is the perfect min-max ratings for bronze high flying denier, which gives you in-game animations that you wouldn't get if you didn't have these specific ratings, gets a 70 defensive rebound and a 61 offensive rebound, so you get silver box out beast and bronze rebound chaser, and finally gets a 90 driving dunk and an 80 vertical, so you get contact dunks, gets an 86 speed and 85 agility, as well as the option to go a 74 strength rating with just one cap breaker, which would give you access to legend strong handle. And if you haven't seen my video about legend strong handle, that badge is so broken if you know how to activate it. And don't worry, later on after I show y'all the build in the builder, I'm gonna talk more about these cap breakers, why I went the cap breakers I did, and what cap breakers I'm gonna go in the future, because this is definitely going to be my end game 6'6" build. Bro, you can have an 85 pass accuracy. For all the people that think that 76 isn't enough, you can go from a 92 perimeter defense to a 97 perimeter defense, automatically unlocking every Hall of Fame defensive badge, which means you'll have access to every single defensive badge on legend as well. Just absolutely insane, disgusting things you can do with this build the more cap breakers you get. Now I'm getting too ahead of myself. First of all, I cannot take credit for this build. Trust me, week 1 of NBA 2K26, I spent hours and hours every night trying to lab up any way possible to get those cap breakers. But anytime I ended up actually making it work, it made the worst build possible. It wasn't even worth doing. So shout out to Josh RZ for figuring out this method. Not only did he find a way to get cap breakers on your ball handle and speed with ball on a 6'6" build, but he also figured out how to make the best possible 6'6" build in the game. There's another version that I found that actually has a 99 MIDY, but it suffers in other stats. I'm gonna show y'all that later, just in case you really want a 99 MIDY for whatever reason. But for right now, we gotta talk about Josh's build, bro. So the build height obviously is 6'6". The weight I actually changed from his. I think he went like 182 or 183 pounds, but we're gonna go 190 pounds so we can have a 73 strength, which later, of course, is gonna give us a legend strong handle on this build. People have mixed opinions on strong handle, but I've personally used it and I know how to activate it. That badge is so broken. I was literally on a 6'4" build with 85 strength, bulldozing 6'8" with 99 perimeter defense and 90+ strength, just because I had legend strong handle. In my opinion, that badge is broken and I want it on my build. And the wingspan is gonna be 6'8", so we can get a 96 MIDY. And to make this version of the build, these are the exact stats you're gonna put in the builder. Now, huge disclaimer, unlike unlike any other builds on this channel, you cannot change a single stat of this build if you want those +3 cap breakers. Trust me, when Josh released this video, I spent hours in the builder trying to make the build better, but every time I lowered my perimeter defense by 1, or I lowered my free throw by 1, or I lowered my pass accuracy by 1, the cap breakers would poof, vanish away, and they'd be +1 again. So I'd be stuck with a 73 ball handle and a 76 speed with ball. You do not want a 73 ball handle and a 76 speed with ball. So yeah, my 2K scientists in the comments, if you want to try and figure it out yourself, trust me, man, go through the pain. I went through 3 hours of pain before I decided to give up, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna take the build for what it is, which isn't a bad thing because what it is actually perfect, bro. Like I said, with cap breakers, this 86 driving dunk goes to a 90. With the 80 vertical, you get pro contact dunks, you get alley-oop contact dunks, you get all the contact dunks you would pretty much want other than elite contact dunks, which you honestly don't need because 1, the dunk meter got buffed. It is super easy to get contact dunks even at 0-0 with no takeover. And 2, if you really want insane contact dunks, all you have to do is put on Post Machine. Post Machine gives you ridiculous contact dunk animations, makes you put people on the ground, and you get access to that takeover with this build. You get a 93-point rating, which obviously gives you silver limitless range by default, which of course we're gonna max +2 for Hall of Fame limitless range, and it also gives you access to deep bomber takeover. You get a 91 MIDDY, which we're gonna make a 96, which is gonna give you Hall of Fame shifty shooter and Hall of Fame set shot specialist off rip. You get a 76 pass accuracy, which is higher than I've ever gone on any build. I always go 71. Trust me, I tried to lower it to 65, I tried to lower it to 71. The cap breakers go away. They want me to have passing on this build, so I'm gonna have passing on this build. Obviously, your ball handle and speed of ball go to 85 and 86. Your perimeter defense, I honestly did not want a 92 perimeter defense. I tried to bring this down to 85 because right now perimeter defense is not worth going. Eventually, I do think that 2K is gonna get in their bag and start cooking up a contest buff, but for right now, my 95 perimeter defense build feels no different than my 85 perimeter defense build. So I try to save attributes, tried to go 85 perimeter defense. Nope. Cap breakers go away. You can't do it. 2K basically just told me to sit there, stop being creative. You're gonna make this build exactly how we want it. Steal is an 85, which I'm honestly starting to love this attribute. I used to go 73 steal on every single build, but 85 steal, I'm getting lanes like crazy, bro. It just feels so strong. I don't know why. Passing lane steals aren't necessarily strong in NBA 2K26. You tip the ball a lot. A lot of times the offense gets the ball back after a dumb pass. But so far on this build, every time I press X in a lane, I've gotten a steal, bro. I'm not saying the build's magic, but I'm just saying it feels really strong. 68 block, of course, gives you bronze high flying denier. Between this and the 16 tier defense, I've had no problems in the paint. I don't know why 16 tier defense feels good. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think we get bronze paint patrol. Yeah, we don't, because it's a 74 block, right? Yeah, bronze paint patrol is a 74 block, but I still have no problem stopping people in the paint. 16 tier defense is just a strong min-max rating. I have no idea why. It honestly shouldn't be like that. I should be getting bullied in the paint, but I'm glad I'm not. And then finally, 70 defensive rebound, 61 offensive rebound. You have no trouble getting boards. When I'm talking about this build, I'm mainly talking about 2's gameplay because that's what I've played so far on it. I would make this build for 2's, 3's, 5's. I'd make this build for everything. That's the good thing about 6'6" and 6'8" builds. They can play every single game mode at a high rate. And honestly, if you played NBA 2K26, you know it's the year of tall guards, bro. Like, tall guards are just super meta. Unless you're in like the top 1% of 2K players that actually know how to use a small guard effectively, then small guards are probably the most broken builds in the game. But for the majority of players, bro, 6'6" and 6'8" is going to be your bread and butter. You're going to feel more comfortable on these builds than any other heights. And then finally, 86 speed, 85 agility. Me personally, I tried to get an 86 and 86 just because I'm weird and aesthetically it looked better, but again, I changed one rating and the build's like, nope, I'm going back to +1, sorry buddy. And then finally, the only thing I changed between mine and Josh RC's build is that I made it to where our strength cap is a 74 instead of a 71, so we can get legend strong handle the more cap breakers we get. I'm going to go for 26-ish cap breakers. I'm probably not going to do my lifetime challenge, so 26 or 27 cap breakers by the end of NBA 2K26, and we'll cover how that'll look here in a second. But first, if you make this build exactly how I just pointed out, which you should, because if you don't, you will not get the cap breakers. You change one attribute, it will change. You get the build name 2-way 3-level score. This is how you know you did it right. Now, before we talk about anything else, I want to give y'all the dribble moves and the jump shot for this build. These are the exact SIGs I'm using on this build. I'm not going to go through every single one. You can just pause the video, screenshot, whatever you want. A couple SIGs I do want to mention though, there are a couple variations that I switch to every now and then. For escape moves, I've learned from competitive 2K players that Paul George is way better than Jimmy Butler. I know that everyone's been spamming Jimmy Butler into your mind since day one of NBA 2K26, but I'm telling you, put on Paul George and you will feel like a speed demon on this game, bro. It is so much faster than Jimmy Butler. The only thing is that doing a Jimmy Butler and then trying to rim run feels better than doing a Paul George and trying to rim run. You'll see what I'm talking about once you put it on. But other than that, Paul George makes you look literally unguardable, bro. You move way too quick with this on. It is a super overpowered move. I highly recommend you try it out. The next move I change a lot is my behind the back. I like Kobe White because I like to ISO with this build. If I'm taking screens though, Kobe White is not it, bro. It is a turnover machine. If you're gonna take screens with this build, I recommend putting on Shea on. You will never get ripped with Shea. It doesn't matter if they're in your body. It doesn't matter if they time the steal. It will always be a foul. You will literally never get ripped with this behind the back on. I don't think it is possible to get ripped. Some of y'all can correct me in the comment section if you've been ripped before on this, but I've played a ton of games and I've never been ripped using this one. It is a less explosive move than Kobe White, so again, when I ISO, I like Kobe White better. So right now I'm ISOing, so I like Kobe White. My motion style I like to run is Jalen Suggs. I think it's the best motion style in the game. A lot of people swear that Alex Caruso is better. Me personally, I don't like how Caruso feels. I like Jalen Suggs. And finally, the proven best jump shot in NBA 2K26 is base Matt Ryan, release 1 Baluba, release 2 Charles Bassey, 100% release speed, and the blending is 35% Baluba, 65% Bassey, and the visual cue timing is 5 or 6 ticks above push. And if you like to look at your visual cue is right before you flick your wrist at the peak of your jump shot. So literally at the peak of your jump shot, right before you flick your wrist, that is your green window. And quick plug, if you want to know the best jump shots in the game, the best dribble moves, the best badges after every update, NBA 2K Labs has you covered, man. The website is on the screen. Use code grinding for 20% off. And if you do, make sure to screenshot your receipt and just DM me on any social media for an immediate follow back. I follow back everybody that uses my code. I appreciate y'all so much. So if you use my code at 2K Labs, make sure to DM me for a follow back. Now let's quickly cover where I'm going to use my next cap breakers in order as the seasons progress. And then we're going to cover a 99 MIDDY version of this build that still gets the +4 and +3 cap breakers. So my very next cap breaker that I'm going to get probably next season, I don't think I'm going to hit Legend 1 before next season. I'm working on a lot of big projects like my 16.99 no money spent video, so it's taking a lot of time. So my next cap breaker next season, the first one I get is going on my strength so we can get Legend Strong Handle. So we're going to go with 74 strength and finally have access to Legend Strong Handle. After that, it depends on 2K. If 2K drops a buff to defense, I'm definitely using my next 5 cap breakers on my perimeter defense to get a 97, so I get all Hall of Fame defensive badges, which means I get all Legend defensive badges with my max +1s. If 2K keeps defense the same for the rest of the year, my next 5 cap breakers are probably going to go towards getting an 88 speed and an 88 agility. Honestly, just for the placebo effect. I don't feel any slower on this build than I do on my 6'8" that has 2 points higher in both of these, but I just know that it'll make me feel better in game that I have these numbers on this attribute screen, bro. It's stupid, I know, but it's just like a human psychology thing. If I see numbers that are bigger, I'm gonna feel faster because I saw numbers that were bigger. I know a lot of y'all are gonna opt into making your pass accuracy higher. Me personally, I want to go lower, bro. I'm telling you, I want to have a 71 pass accuracy. It makes me mad that I couldn't go with 71 pass accuracy, but it is what it is. Now, real quick before we end this video, I wanted to show y'all this 99 MIDDY version I found that still gets the ball handle cap breakers. This version of the build is 6'6", 183 pounds, so we still get Legend Strong Handle, but the wingspan is 6'6" instead of 6'8", so we can get a 99 MIDDY. And these are the exact stats of the build. They're pretty much the same as the other one, except obviously we're gonna have a 99 MIDDY. But the thing that turned me off about this build is that we also lose the ability to get contact dunks. Everything else is virtually the same. The only thing that's different is I guess we have 4 points higher on our free throw. But other than that, the defense is the same, the rebound is the same, the physicals are the same, everything's the same, just for the trade-off that we don't get contact dunks anymore, but now we have a 99 MIDDY. If you make this version of the build, it'll say two-way off-screen shooter. Again, these build names don't matter. We're gonna change it to green light anyways because we finished our shooting specialization. And the cap breakers, if you make this build, look like this. So obviously what you would do is use 5 cap breakers to get your 99 MIDDY, the whole reason we made the build. You would then use 10 cap breakers to get your ball handle and speed with ball max to where it is on our other build. And then with my last 2 cap breakers, one would go on strength to get Legend Strong Handle off rip. And then the next one would, I guess, go on driving dunk to work towards getting my contact dunks back. I should have been more specific. You don't get contact dunks off rip with this build, but you do eventually get them back if you just unlock more cap breakers. More specifically, once you put 3 cap breakers in your driving dunk, you get the first set of contact dunks, and then once you put 4 cap breakers, you get all the pro contact dunks that we have on the other build. But for that to happen, I would have to have 20 cap breakers. So right now, I'd rather just have contact dunks off rip and have fun now instead of just waiting for contact dunks later on in future seasons. I know that wingspan doesn't really matter this year, so the low wingspan doesn't bother me at all. But I think the main reason I decided not to go into this build, even though I finally found a way after hours, is that I don't feel like waiting to get contact dunks, bro. I want to have fun now for the next 2 months instead of waiting for 20 cap breakers in the spring to finally have fun on this build. I might make this build later on though. We'll see, especially if defense stays the same way and wingspan doesn't matter. But anyways, y'all, that is pretty much it. This will be my new 6'6" build that I'll be using on streams. I plan on streaming pretty soon. I've been busy knocking out videos like my group video that is happening on Wednesday. You're not gonna want to miss that, bro. It is an insane video. I hope y'all really enjoy it. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and as always, keep grinding.